person that puts on
Alright,
false
so
appearance of
I'm on
virtue, or a person
break.
that acts in contradiction to his or her stated beliefs. I'm making this video today to talk about a man named Prince,
gonna
who
react
is,
to
in
this
my
video.
opinion, the biggest
Why not?
hypocrite on YouTube. He made a video critiquing me, and I wasn't initially going to make a response video because criticism is criticism, and if I was everyone's cup of tea, I'd be a mug. What I cannot stand is a hypocrite. Over the past few months, while Prince has been making somewhat of a fool of himself, I've been quietly watching and observing. And boy, oh boy, Prince, have you been one naughty boy.
I've been a fan of
Before we continue, I have to say, and
this
I
show
mean this
for a
more
while.
seriously than anything I've ever said on the channel. Do not give this man hate. Do not go over to this man's channel. Do not click on this man's videos. It is what he wants. If you have something you want to say about him or about his behavior, leave it in the comment section of this video, because have no doubt he will be watching it and he will be reading them. And it will be much more annoying for him if this video gets lots of traction and people just ignore his. Now, some of you might be worried that I'm giving this man exactly what he wants, but believe me, I am fully confident that I have enough evidence and footage within this video, and I don't think anyone will walk away with a very high opinion of Prince and his behavior after it.
Whoa,
What's
is
up,
that a
y'all?
swing?
My name is Prince, and I'm on a journey to help
Back
people
a
find
lot.
harmony in their life through martial arts, mindfulness practices, tapping into our own inner power. We're going to look at the problem with Totally Pointless TV. Totally Pointless TV posted a video titled "Fake Master Gets Destroyed by a
Still
Student."
sensing a
It
lot of,
featured
like,
a clip of
scene
Kyron
television,
from
like,
the
hours.
Martial Man doing a practice drill with his teacher, Liang Dua. Totally Pointless TV is supposed to be some kind of comedy channel where he makes those gym fail type videos. And that's the thing about Totally Pointless TV is I don't know if this guy has ever trained in anything. But I am saying that sometimes he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he passes
noticed
that
that,
ignorance
right?
onto his audience.
He makes
Now let's
jokes,
establish
that's the
this,
point.
okay? My background is entirely in boxing, so I am quite traditional in what I believe is valuable and effective in a fight. But let's push all of that to the side and imagine that my only fighting experience comes from trying to bang my pillow at night. It's a non-argument, because I am not talking about McGregor or Khabib, and I am not commenting over the karate championships where people with genuine skill are demonstrating. I am talking about people that are so blatantly faked that it doesn't require any skill.
that shit's
other
what
than
I like about
functioning
this guy's
brain.
channel.
You'll note that throughout this video, despite calling me a liar and saying that I have no idea what I'm talking about, Prince provides absolutely no evidence of these mistakes or these lies that I've made. I've made nearly 50 fake martial arts videos. You would think that there would be an abundance of footage there for him to sift through and just pick out. The reason he doesn't use any of my footage is because it would prove him to be wrong right off the bat. Everything I talk about is so blatantly fake, it does not require any second guessing. There's been one or two mistakes I've made across the 50 videos. I once criticized G-based Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's a very legitimate martial arts, and you best
I don't know why his
believe that
guards
my
are
fan base
a
called
big
me
jiu-jitsu
enough
guy.
to look out for that mistake, as they should. From that, I educated myself, and I haven't made the same mistake since. Why didn't you try to find some actual proof that proves your point? Why didn't you just gather up a bunch of clips and say, here's where he's wrong, this is why he's a liar? Did you
But,
not
I mean,
do it,
that
Prince,
position did
because
look
you're too
funny, so,
lazy
like,
to get
go ahead
that
and make a joke
information?
about it.
Or did you not do it because you know that I'm either showing something that is obviously fake or just having light-hearted fun? I'd imagine it's a weird amalgamation of the two. There is one other blame.
This app doesn't allow me to pause it. I wish I could pause it and say something. So I might talk over him. If you want to hear what he's saying, go ahead and just look up his video.
Like I was saying, a clip of Kyron training with Liang Dua made
Well, he's moving out of the way. This is fake.
What Totally Pointless TV considers fake martial arts, based completely on his own opinion and absolutely zero experience with any of the people that he talks about in his videos. You have to personally touch or interact with these people to know whether or not what they've done is genuine. This is a very stupid claim that stupid people make to justify their stupid beliefs. You don't need to touch the sun to know it's hot, and you don't need to see oxygen to know it's there to breathe. You don't need to experience Tai Chi to know that when a man throws himself to the floor because there's masters move their elbow an inch.
See, what people don't really know, like, see,
That's just
that's
fake.
crap.
Just
Like,
pretend
I mean, maybe he kind of messed with his balance a
You
little
have
bit.
to personally
It looks like
experience
sticky hands kind of exercise, which I've done a lot in Wing Chun.
So, have you fought
And
against
all,
it?
it's not even like you could use it in a fight. Here. Nah. So you can use sticky hands principle in a fight, but you can't do the sticky hands in a fight. You know, you can get into a position and maybe knock him over, and that's what the point is, to help you know pressure. But that wasn't sticky hands. Like, it looked like it was trying to be like sticky hands. And then the dude fell down.
The video containing a clip of him filed a copyright strike against Total's Pointless TV. This whole
Total's pointless? Total's... Dude, if you're going to call someone out, use the right name.
Negative comments on Marshall Man videos. You know, like the same basic keyboard warrior nonsense.
Gather around, kids, because here be the meat of the video. Prince claims that I'm a bully and a keyboard warrior. This is one of the biggest arguments that Prince makes, and it's where he's the biggest hypocrite. He climbs right up onto his high horse and he tries to sit there like the fucking Messiah himself. Well, allow me to take the reins, Prince. All I did was create a video outlining what the Marshall Man done wrong. You have done the exact same thing against me, but because the Marshall Man's actions were wrong and my fans cared, I'm a keyboard warrior and a bully. But because your fans don't really care about what you have to say and you gained no traction for your video, it's completely fine. That is convenient. After failing to get his YouTube community to turn against me, he moved to Twitter to try and get his Twitter followers to beef with me, making like 10 to 12 tweets attacking me. Now let's take a moment.
I'm thinking that if he's using martial arts to make himself a more spiritual person, he shouldn't
waiting for the algorithm to
doing
provide
this.
you with already popular content for you to rip
You know?
off like a parasite.
It's not very spiritually developed to not be able to crack a joke
and lack the creativity
about
to
something.
think of a cool video idea yourself. Am I being too harsh here? I don't understand why he's parading his own inadequacies around as if it's some pro-gamer strat. Prince also has a Star Wars channel with over 60,000 followers, and he tried to get the Star Wars community to turn against me on Facebook. That's right, a grown-ass man was trying to turn the Star Wars community against me by quoting Jedis. You cannot write that shit. But again, it failed. Even the Star Wars community didn't really care. Who the fuck is this guy complaining about a martial arts drama that has nothing to do with Star Wars? But it doesn't end there. Do you think that's enough? What, trying to get YouTube, Twitter, Facebook and Star Wars against me? No, Sonny, it doesn't end there. He made 2 separate community posts tagging me, which is fun. It's a bit tragic, a little bit sad. But on the second community post, he tagged both myself and Elliot Hulse in it. Now, you might be thinking, that's a little bit strange. Why is he talking about me and then all of a sudden talking about Elliot Hulse? It's almost incoherent. Well, a couple of days before this...
Oh, that's a cultural. The people make fun of him. That is true. That's kind of just a cultural thing. That guy's some form of a Maori kind of descent. That's a cultural thing. Like that I get that, but make a joke about it. I posted a video a while back of me and one of my coaches doing a side control escape, and frankly, that looks like a hug, right? So my friends were going on my Facebook saying, hey, what is this? The bro hug, you know, this, that, and the other technique? I mean, make a joke. It's okay. That's what this guy mostly does.
So aside from the sheer tragedy that his life is to have the time to do that, it is incredibly...
Another really good joke for martial arts orientated stuff, and it's even joking about legitimate martial arts, is Sensei Seth. You know, he's got a whole series of like if the martial arts were talking to each other. You know, like make a joke and like let us make jokes. If you're a spiritually developed martial artist, this shouldn't exist. Like this cancel culture stuff should not exist in martial arts of all communities.
Any community he could think of against me. The only difference is no one gives a flying fuck what this loser had to say.
And why is it the case that these people always say, you have to prove it to me by going to fight somebody else? I mean, where I'm from, we had a saying...
But didn't you just do that to him, though?
Between 2 other people.
Like, we need to know it. Like,
And Totalist Pointless TV guy has
Totalist
so much to say
dude.
about the people in his videos.
I don't think you're a competent fighter. You can't even say the guy's name. Right.
Seminars and workshops.
Sticky hands. Nothing wrong with that as a training practice.
I think that the content there speaks for itself. Total as pointless as TVs is a coward. If he's so brave, maybe he should try to fight him.
You don't have any experience to talk about this stuff with any kind of authority. I mean, I understand that it's all fun and jokes, but the people watching, they don't know that you really have no idea what you're even talking about.
Now Prince is trying to fight an argument that I absolutely never made. Never once have I claimed to be an authority on martial arts. I say my opinions. I say.
I mean, I don't 100% agree with everything this
then that's gravy.
guy says.
That's their choice. It just so happens.
But it's painfully obvious it's jokes.
Do agree with what I have to say, and the vast majority of them have an extremely high amount of very diverse martial arts experience between them. So if everything I was saying was a lie, and if I genuinely had no idea what I was talking about, do you not think the community would have turned against me by now? Because it's
I like to make fun of Taekwondo, but there's legit Taekwondo people.
Their grandmaster.
I like to make fun of Aikido, and I did Aikido for
the fucking Mongolian
a couple of years.
And everyone that disagrees with you and agrees with me has years of experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, even genuine Tai Chi. Agree with what I've said. That's funny.
People don't realize Tai Chi Chuan's actually a pretty legit grappling art, but most people don't practice it like that.
Kind of resolve between these two channels.
They practice it thinking it's like fireballs coming out of their hands and stuff, and that isn't right. It's actually much more like stand-up wrestling.
I have to at least mention it. The channel's name is Totally Pointless TV. I am not saying that I am totally pointless and this is my TV. No, I'm saying this is Totally Pointless TV. Not Totally Pointless is TV. Not Total as Pointless.
Funny name.
It is totally.
I mean, how seriously are you going to take the things he's saying with that name? It's a name. So why is this guy so mad?
Prince claims that I take things out of context, which is absolutely hilarious because in this segment he proceeds to take what I say out of context and swap out the footage with something
completely
that is
fair.
Genuine when I was clearly demonstrating something that is fake.
Me is still going on talking about whether or not pushing hands is a legitimate technique.
Oh, sticky hands and pushing hands. But that dude didn't do pushing hands. That's not what that was.
Are in fact real.
And I'm watching like.
Because the dude jumped away and fell down. Like, there was nothing making him fall down.
It's
Sorry.
like you train with your partner and then you can build up from that training.
Now, see, this shit.
It would be like me watching two wrestlers doing a pummeling drill and saying, man, I don't know about that wrestling stuff. Look at them. It looks like they want to snitch.
Yeah, he is drawing a legitimate parallel between those two exercises. What that other dude was doing was not pushing hands or sticky hands. The point isn't that you can even really use it.
There just so happens to be a big correlation between people claiming to be Tai Chi fighters and Bushido. Do you see what I've done there, Prince? I provided actual video evidence that proves my case and disproves your argument. I mean, watching that, you'd be thinking, hey, yeah, he's right. Totally Pointless is dumb. Like, push hands is a real thing. And those two kids were demonstrating real push hands. What a fucking idiot. I wasn't talking about Tai Chi.
You can look up real push hands. You can look up Bruce Lee doing real push hands. And he actually got into that 45-degree angle, someone a boxer understands, and actually was able to exploit a foot position and actually push the person away. That's the point in pushing hands, not whatever that dude just did. It's actually ridiculous. Like, it isn't. You're not building anything up. You're not building any energy up. That's not what's going on. You're feeling the opponent and feeling their balance and pressure, and then and finding the spot to and the angle that you can exploit that.
Which I don't see him doing. I was talking about the instance in reference, which is this footage.
Yeah, see, this is a person that is compliant. This is not. Man, I wish I could edit like an actual clip of pushing hands in here.
I was a bit annoyed at how you phrased the whole thing. That's what meant they're honest, they're to the point. Again, I was specifically talking about that instance. What a great job, Prince. Your main argument against me, you evidence through misdirection and deceptive behavior. Someone on the comment section in this video even pointed this out very eloquently, saying if he actually done his research, he would see very quickly that he's mistaken. To which Prince replied, or I could spend that time working on something important to me. It's not important enough.
It should be important to you to know what you're talking about, especially if you want to be outspoken in the world of using martial arts to develop yourself spiritually.
Separate Facebook posts about me. You care enough about me to do that, but not enough to see that your base argument is a lie. This is called Occam's brew. It's where an individual brushes away very obvious and blatant facts because they detract from the argument he's trying to make.
I mean, what if I decided for some reason that I don't like an ad from this restaurant that I've never ever visited or eaten at? I've never tasted the food. I've only seen it in an ad that played before a YouTube video.
Well, if I saw a cockroach in the ad, I would venture to think that there was no good food there.
Don't eat there. Their food sucks.
This is a very weak analogy because I'm not forming my opinion based around what someone else has said. I'm forming my opinion based around the footage that individual has chosen to put forward to the internet to evidence their ability. A better analogy.
You see, his argument about the pushing hands thing, it's like a legitimate argument if he wasn't defending a crap example of it. So it's like he's taking away from the legitimacy of that argument.
YouTube saying, hey, this business has shown me that they shit into their burgers. Maybe their burgers would taste like shit. That's a better analogy. Remember earlier when I said I have made a couple of mistakes in my past, being a mere mortal man? Well, one of those mistakes was taking the piss out of a genuine martial artist called Ronald Duncan. I'm about to play my Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card because of all the video clips I've created and talked about. Prince decided to use one of the only genuine martial artists I've covered as a fucking talking point that he agrees that I've talked about fake masters.
Some of this stuff actually is funny, like the old guy who beats up his student with a rolled up magazine.
No, never do that again.
There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in martial arts.
I would still make jokes about that, even though, I mean, there's some credence to that. Eskrima actually uses the magazines as like a parrying weapon and things like that.
A singular, entertaining or funny clip to have a laugh about and entertain people. It doesn't mean you're.
So I say still make jokes. I'm just saying, yeah, he's right. Like that's
Someone even commented on his video
actually legitimate. So the guy decided to make fun of something actually legitimate.
He doesn't give a fuck. I do want to say though, the segment where he laughed at Ronald Duncan was actually at the beginning of the video, but I have moved it to the midsection because it makes more sense with the flow of my script. Full disclosure.
Because that's what usually happens when you build a channel based completely on sharing other people's content. I'm just saying, if someone sees your fair use criticism as bullying, you will lose your channel. I've seen it happen. It's just something to consider.
To call it stolen content.
He does do plenty of his own content. He's done all sorts of. I made videos for TikTok and things like that, like fake, real or fake videos and stuff. So I mean.
But I'm not claiming your content. I'm not implying that it's theft. That's kind of weird, isn't it? That you're criticizing my video format while making the exact same type of video with the exact same type of video format. But again, let's just ignore the facts. Hey, I'm an easy guy.
You can completely ignore that entire thing for me. I don't even care.
So, what you're saying is you recorded all the footage from the Jake Paul fight? Is that what you're saying? How about the clips of Steven Seagal? Are you implying that you recorded all of that footage yourself? What about the Mortal Kombat review you've done, Where you steal segments of Mortal Kombat to give your review? Because it's funny how when you take other content for the purpose of fair use to criticize or talk about, it's a real good thing. But when I do it, I'm a content thief. Yes, I'm aware I stole the exact same joke from earlier, but if his arguments are going to be so feeble and pathetic that I can reuse the exact same joke to discredit both of them, I'm going to do it. This is your
Tap Out Cancer, by the way.
To visit
My
this
boy,
channel
just,
and give it hate.
I'll be making a video about it.
You to do that, but he's not making them,
got
guys.
silver at the
He loves to
Brazilian
play the
Jiu-Jitsu.
victim.
Tap
He gets a
Cancer
kick
out.
out of it. He likes the people that do listen
So
to
check
him
out
to think that
if you want to make donations.
a very wise
you
husband by
can
man. There's no better example
tapcancerout.org.
than when he went to Twitter to claim that he was being threatened with physical
All the money
violence
goes to
just because he
cancer
expressed his
beneficiaries
opinions
of
about
various
me.
kinds.
That's really horrible, Prince. Why would anyone threaten you with violence just because you expressed your opinion about them? Well, of course, the chain he was referring to, I found, where he called someone an anorexic fighter just because he said I had better content than him.
Yeah, I mean, you got way better video, way better rhythm in the audio, and better audio, not the beach in the background and stuff. Better than mine. Here I am just on my cell phone, probably hear my truck in the background and stuff.
Don't bring up the fact that you made an ad hominem remark about his physical appearance. It also looks as if he deleted the tweet after I called him out for it. I wasn't even going going to include it because I didn't have proof of the initial tweet. But if Prince is just going to make up all this bollocks without even justifying it with evidence, you can at least take my word that he did do the initial tweet. So the question is, why did Prince make this video in the first place? Every single point he makes contradicts himself through his own actions. He admits himself multiple times in the comment section that he just wanted to hate on the video to get a reaction from my fans. He also had someone call him out for having a bunch of ads on the video, to which he replied that he didn't place the ads, YouTube did, because I have a UK viewership which pays the best money. That's a straight up lie. It's almost entirely US based. He just heard my accent and made up a lie. It's comical and completely menial. It just goes to show how willing he is to make up some random ass lie to try and justify his actions. Now the final point I want to make about the actual video, he tries to be humorous by just hard cutting in bad, just out of place jokes, just ramming them right into the middle of the sentence he's saying.
But I mean, until that happens, this guy is nothing but a paper tiger to me.
A paper tiger?
Just like the people watching this video.
I mean, you went out onto the beach and set up a camera
They're all tigers with no
because of this guy. So,
just a bunch of pussycats
and
making a lot of noise.
you said that he has viewers, which is a cause,
which actually ends up making the video
in regards to credibilities and stuff. So obviously, it's not just paper
I've
tiger.
seen your every move. You have been.
You believe he has an effect on the culture?
Been found wanting. Your biggest problem, Prince, is that you think.
Which I would agree, but I would agree. I would think that it's not even a bad effect. Like, I think he's funny, and we should joke at stuff.
It can be used to highlight stupidity and bad behavior and encourage.
I mean, he makes fun of Americans all the time. I still think it's funny.
But if you're going to be critical, if you're going to get up on your high horse, you have to make damn sure that your own morals, your own beliefs, and your own actions correlate to the point you're trying to make. Otherwise, you come across as a hypocritical, lying sack of shit. He's a very sensitive, manipulative man that feels the need to reply to absolutely any criticism he receives by outright insulting them or just saying
now to the point that
is
maybe
the
he wouldn't
behavior of
totally
a Zen man.
pointless
I thought long and hard about how
wouldn't
I
say
wanted
this to that
end
dude's
balance.
face.
After a long
I've always
soul
kind of
searching,
got
I
a vibe
decided
that
not
he
to
might
end
have
this
done some
video
amount of
with my
boxing or
words
something,
of
not
hatred,
because of
but
the things he
instead
says. He's cracking
my words of
jokes.
thanks. My thanks
He
to
just
YouTube.
does
My
seem
100,000
the way.
creator reward is in the
I have
post,
this
and it should
theory
be
that,
here with
like, a lot of times the smaller guy that you
100,000
meet
beautiful, loyal subscribers
is very
in just 1
smooth
year.
and very,
If you keep going,
very
Prince, I'm sure you'll
confident,
get
good
there in
posture
8
and
years.
stuff,
Isn't that
might
really
actually
the
know
first
something
thing
you
he
don't know, and he
thinks?
just
He's
doesn't
fish.
want to say anything about it, doesn't care, you know? I get this feeling from him. I mean, I'm catching a vibe. I could be wrong. It's not like you even see him interact with other people, so I can't tell how he reacts to his surroundings and things. All right, now that that's over. I guess it is still recording. I didn't know for sure if it would, so I talked over the guy. Yeah, man, like, it sure seems like I wouldn't be taking spiritual advice from that guy. From the... I'm gonna call it the accuser, and then the totally appointed, totally pointless TV would be the defendant probably in this. So I'm gonna say that totally pointless, man. I'm a big fan actually, and sometimes I'm like, okay, actually it's legit, but you know what? He's cracking jokes. It looks funny. Jiu-jitsu's one that, like, we ask for, okay, right? I mean, we're basically in sexual positions, all right? So yeah, it's real legit fighting, but it's funny to look at, and we should joke about it, you know. And I haven't completely agreed with all of his assessments of whether something is a realistic training, but he's not even really saying that. The problem is so many things that are decent training tools are actually marketed as actual fighting techniques. A good example is the difference between pushy hands and sticky hands and pummeling, right? Pummeling is a really good practice. Not usually going to be doing those things. You'll do it maybe, but for the most part, when you get into a real altercation, you're doing everything else. But it does help you learn about balance and pressure, and same thing with pushing hands. That was not pushing hands, okay? Look up Bruce Lee's examples of pushing. I mean, it's probably the easiest ones to look up. There's better ones out there, but that's probably the easiest to look up, and people will trust Bruce Lee. So, anyways, have a good day, guys. Check out Totally Pointless. He's a funny guy. Even if he talks about something that you disagree with, he's still funny. Have a good day, guys.